Today's video is all about how you can maximize your impact on Clubhouse. What is Clubhouse? Clubhouse is an app that allows you to talk to people all over the world about a broad range of subjects, but it only allows you to talk to them. So it's all sound-based stuff. They can't see you. You can't send them messages instantly. It's all about your voice. It's basically like a networking event. At the moment, you have to be invited by somebody who's an existing member to join Clubhouse. And also you need to have an iPhone as well. Now, I expect these things will change very, very soon, and I'm sure Clubhouse is going to explode. It's very different to anything else that is out there at the moment. And there are some pros and cons about it, but that's a whole other video. Today is all about how you can effectively communicate on Clubhouse. And I've got 5 top tips for you and one really sneaky, juicy tip at the end. Tip number 1, remember it is a stage. It's a kind of funny environment to be in because it obviously is only your voice that you're sharing, but you need to make sure you remember this is a stage. This is an opportunity for you to share with potentially hundreds, thousands of people who you are and what you do. So you need to take it seriously. Just because it is only your voice that you are using, it's still a way of communicating who you are and what you do. And importantly, there is a pretty big audience waiting to listen to you. Which leads nicely on to my next point, and that is to remember there is an audience. One of the mistakes I think people make on Clubhouse is they forget there is an audience in the room. If you get an opportunity to speak on Clubhouse, make sure you refer to the fact there is an audience in the room. There is a tendency with Clubhouse to be pretty self-indulgent, and you will find rooms like that where people have created them just to talk about how magnificent they are. But audiences in those rooms will switch off pretty quickly. So remember, when you get the opportunity to speak, there are people there listening to you. Refer to them. Acknowledge the fact that there are many people listening in the room. It will make a massive difference to how you're perceived by the audience. Which again nicely leads on to my next point, and that is always have a pen and paper handy. There is nothing better from an audience's point of view if you refer to them direct. Because of how Clubhouse works, you've got multiple people asking questions during the course of a Clubhouse session. Now, somebody might ask a question where you think, I know a golden answer to that I want to share. If you have a pen and paper, you can make sure you write that person's name down, bearing in mind there could be 300 people in the room. So when you have the stage and you have an opportunity to speak, you can share your insight with the person who asked the question. By doing things like that, you're showing yourself as somebody who is knowledgeable, but who also cares about the audience in the room. And that's what audiences really want to know. They want to know that you care about them. My next point is an important one. You need to have an introduction ready before you plan to speak. I would advise you spend at least a week or so just listening when you first start using Clubhouse, so you can really gauge how it works, and importantly, what you think works versus what definitely doesn't work. That's a whole other video. But you need to make sure you've got a good introduction, so when you're asked to introduce yourself, you have something good to say. Your introduction should be short. Keep it short. I know there's a tendency on Clubhouse for people to speak for a ridiculous amount of time. I mean, why answer a question in 2 sentences when you can use 200s? People speak for far too long. So keep your introduction short and sweet, who you are and what it is that you do. And importantly, practice saying that out loud. Do not make the first time you introduce yourself out loud be on a Clubhouse room when you have a packed audience. Say it out loud a few times, get used to saying it, how it feels, maybe ask a friend or colleague for some feedback. You want to be really comfortable with that introduction, because if you plan to use Clubhouse a lot and it's good for you and your business, you're going to be saying it all the time. My fifth tip is all about how to ask a question. Now, when you first start using Clubhouse, asking a question is really the only way you can get on stage. It's the only way you can let your voice be heard. So when you enter a room, you need to be thinking about a good question to put to the moderators who are controlling that space. Your question needs to be something that is discussion based. Don't ask a yes/no question. Ask a meaty question that the moderators can discuss. So when you ask your question, you first of all want to quickly thank the moderators for allowing you to be on the stage. Quickly say who you are and what it is that you do, and then ask your juicy question. And a sneaky tip is to ask a question that you already know the answer to. If you're on Clubhouse because you want to showcase your knowledge, this is something you definitely need to do, because it's the only way you can share your insights. What you want to do is steer the conversation towards your area of expertise. That is what you want to do to really showcase your knowledge on Clubhouse. To do that effectively, you want to have your question in mind and the answers to that question written down. Then once you pose it to the room, you can tick them off as the moderators answer the question. And when they come back to you to see if the question has been answered effectively for you, you can say yes and thank you. And importantly, add in your answer as well, because you can see from your list the points that haven't yet been made. And that showcases your knowledge. Showcasing your knowledge, being somebody who knows something in your field, guarantees you more followers, but importantly, you will get people contacting you to ask you questions about what it is that you do and inviting you to take part in other Clubhouse discussions because you've illustrated that you know your stuff. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found these tips useful. Please do subscribe to my channel because I upload videos weekly and it makes a massive difference if I get more subscribers, basically. Let me know in the comments below if there is any content you'd like me to cover or if you have any questions about this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.